Oh, yeah.
Yung dun sa... Ang hirap talaga come into terms yung sinasabi mong distinction ng designed and not designed eh. Kaya mo, tinidor. Yan, pag ilagay mo dyan, alam mo, it's designed. Diba? And the reason kung bakit mo sasabihin that you know it's designed, kasi you cannot see it in nature. Diba? Bagay, nature cannot produce something like that.
No, not exactly. It's designed, it's because two things. It doesn't happen by natural law, and it cannot happen by random chance. That's the two things.
Okay, yun.
Nature itself is designed.
Hindi, kaya nga, kumbaga, it cannot happen by natural law. So you have the distinction between natural law and then this.
Yes.
Tama, di ba? Ay kaya lang, pagdating doon sa nature itself, what kind of law do you contrast it with?
That's the point. Kasi nga, the law itself, in physical laws, cannot explain yung existence ng design in nature. It cannot explain it because it goes against the actual physical laws itself. Like for example, gravity. Diba, gravity, anything that has mass will definitely attract another thing that has mass. Okay. And depending on the size of that mass, mas malaki yung attraction, and that's natural law. But when a mass that's supposed to be attracting another mass is moving away from the mass, that's going against natural law. Now, design is exactly the same.
Paano pag kunyari ganun? Di airplanes, hindi naman nagbabiolate ng natural kasi kahit naman nag-ano siya sa gravity, you still have aerodynamics, you still have buoyancy, which is still part of
Let's
natural
explain that. Okay. Ang airplane go against natural law because if it's not designed, you tend to see that yung mismong plane itself is heavier than air. Unless it's lighter than air, yung natural, if it's lighter, it will float. If it's heavier, it will float. Now, what makes it designed is that kung wala yung engine ng plane and there's no velocity, hindi siya lilipad. The reason na lumilipad yung plane is because yung what you call an aerodynamic principle ng wings.
Wait, may tanong lang, follow up.
Paano kung kunyari wala wings, let's say balloon?
Balloon, natural law is this. Yung air inside it is lighter than the air, yung atmospheric pressure. So anything, natural law yun. Okay? Now, ang hindi natural law doon is that, okay, in-enclose mo yung particular, meron kang design mo, you have designed something that will float. The intelligence now, you know that lighter than air, empty layer will float. Bernoulli's principle, I think.
Yeah, pwede sila.
In-enclose mo yun, may purpose ka kung bakit in-enclose yun. Right? As opposed to this, let's say for example, merong pond, may bacteria, nagpo-produce ng ammonia.
Okay.
The ammonia is lighter than nitrogen and stuff. So mag-rise yun. If it happens that there's some kind of silk on top of it, pag nag-produce ng bacteria, then natural law, magana yun. That's a random chance.
Pero ba't ganun? Sabi mo nga, helium is lighter than air.
Yeah.
Pero, it is still matter, it still has mass, it should also be attracted by gravity.
It is, pero, meron siyang gravity, and you're right, may gravity siya. It reaches a certain point. The reason why it's attracting is because there's a force acting against it. Yung force ng air pressure.
Excuse.
Intensity.
Question lang ako. Yung sabi mo kasi kanina yung machines, let's say airplanes, umaandar siya. And yun yung ano, but di ba yung proseso, yung principle ng machinery na yun, it's still natural law, di ba?
No, it's using natural law. It's the knowledge of the natural law. The design comes to the knowledge of application of that natural law to achieve something, purposely achieve something. Yung purpose doon is for the object, say airplane, is to fly. Yun yung purpose niya, mag-fly siya. Meron siyang purpose.
Kasi man,
You say it's supernatural?
Hindi nga ako
wala natin muna sa supernatural.
The question
muna yung obvious lang.
Yeah, parang lumalabas ngayon, we define natural law and design as coterminous or something, parang hindi naman, di ba? When we say...
Sorry, what did you say?
Hindi, kasi when we say designed, di ba? Kasi sabi mo kanina, yung machinery, it just goes to the principle lang ng design, hindi naman siya. But yung kanyang hindi natural. is that correct?
No, two things. It doesn't happen because of natural law, and it's not happened by random chance. There's two components.
Hindi, dito muna tayo sa natural law.
Okay.
Di ba?
Natural law, by the way, is physical laws. Okay, when you say
but,
natural law, yun yung fundamental laws of
but
physics.
still, what we're doing here, kahit yung machines, ang inaano pa rin naman natin dyan, di ba yung natural law pa rin? Doon pa rin sila kasakay. When an airplane fly, for example, yung mga properties niyan, bakit lumipad yan, anong ginamit yan, is still natural law, di ba? Kasi when we say hindi na siya natural law, anong law na siya?
Hindi, yung design ng airplane is in consideration of natural law. Okay, ang pinag-usapan yung design ng object, object itself.
Yeah.
So we purposeful design yan. Kasi may design, there's a purpose behind it. So for an airplane, ang purpose behind it is for this.
But it's still natural law.
And because of the knowledge ng what is in the natural law, we design a particular structure, yung wings, a certain way. May aerodynamic principle. So there's a particular intelligent set of preparation or plan involved to actually, how can I make use of this natural law? That design of the airplane itself will not happen naturally. Say for example, ang makikita mo, yero lumilipad, that's not an airplane. May yero lumilipad, may bagyo, Glenda, lumilipad yung yero.
But the design, ano ba yung pag-design niya sa wings, gano'n, it's still in the realm of natural law.
No, it's not.
I have a question.
It's intelligent. You know,
I have a question. Kasi nabanggit mo nga yung yerong lumilipad sa bagyong Glenda, no? Is that a violation of natural law?
No, it's a consequence of natural law. It's a consequence.
Kunyari, if the plane uses the same principle...
It's not the plane doesn't happen by itself. See, the thing is, it will not happen by itself.
No, it's not the plane. It's the plane using the same principle of...
Yeah, all design,
We're talking about the categories of intelligent design, di ba?
Everything that is designed uses natural law. Everything.
Okay.
Okay, so what makes it design is not the fact that it's using natural law. The fact that it's using natural law is an evidence of design already. It's
Sabi
not
mo
caused.
kasi
No,
kanina,
it's the
design goes
difference.
against natural
No,
law.
I didn't say that. I said it's not caused by natural law. Okay, there's a difference. It's not either caused by natural law or it's not caused by random chance. There's the two. Yung cause.
Okay.
Okay, a design object makes use of
Natural law.
natural law. Kung ano yung natural, say gravity pulls you around, so maybe you can create a waterfall, a hydroelectric power. And you use natural law, yung gravity, yung potential energy of the water and the kinetic energy to transform that into electricity.
Kasi ang kinukuha
That's
ko sa'yo
design.
before is what are the criteria that you can use for you to say na if this falls into this certain criteria, then I will know for certain.
It is called intelligent design.
That's the two.
And for anything?
It's for anything.
Or anything in nature.
Actually, the one that is an atheist, Dembski is an atheist. He's the one who
kaya nga,
actually...
kumbaga, can it use for anything or just anything within
Well,
nature?
as far as I know, for anything.
Ano yung dalawang criteria na yun?
If it's not caused by natural law or if it's not caused by random chance.
Okay,
Because the only left thing is it has to be designed.
Okay, kasi ganito, is God caused by natural law?
Well, okay, let's define. Kasi iba yung definition mo ng God, di ba?
Hindi, I'm just saying, your definition of God.
No, magkaiba tayo. Do you want my definition or your definition?
Your definition.
Okay, my definition of God is a being who's eternal, who created the universe and without cause.
Yeah, but is he...
So lalabas siya outside natural law siya.
Kumbaga,
Outside natural law siya. He created natural law. So, doon tayo magkakaiba eh.
So
Yung
he's
definition
not,
natin-
he's not caused by natural law?
No.
Okay. Is he caused by randomness?
No, he caused natural law.
Ayan, whether he caused natural law or not, he is not caused by natural law, yes.
No, he is beyond that, yeah.
Is he caused by randomness?
No.
No. So, by definition, sabi mo,
Yes,
with those two
may mali ka
criteria,
na agad eh.
Accepted siya.
May mali ka na agad eh.
So it becomes an exemption.
You use the word cause.
Hindi, sabi mo naman eh.
No, I didn't say that. What I said is, ang definition po ng God is the existence, eternal, without cause. Yun ang unang sinabi
Yeah,
sa'yo.
oo nga. Pero, kaya nga,
So-
God is
so-
caused or not caused? Not caused.
Not cause.
Oh,
Wala
not
siya-
caused.
wala
Okay.
siyang cause.
Random, is it caused by randomness? Not caused by randomness. Not caused by randomness. Diba? Now, tinanong kita kanina, when you say that something is designed, sabi mo, it is not caused by randomness, it is not caused by natural. I asked you, do you qualify it for things in nature or everything? Kasi sabi mo everything. So everything should apply to God.
I may have to qualify. Of course, it doesn't
Hindi,
include.
sabi niya being.
It does not include God.
God.
Of course.
Okay.
It does not include.
Okay.
So the concept of God
So,
is outside.
Kasi concept natin eh.
What you're
Okay.
saying is that there exists at least one thing that is not caused by natural law and that is not caused by randomness, that is not design. Correct?
Okay, there's a problem with that thinking because when you say the word design, it connotes a designer.
Exactly.
So,
Yun.
So siya hindi design.
hindi siya design kasi.
Okay.
So,
Kaya nga, you
so
have-
he's an exception na kasi it's not
Excepted
design.
to the rule nga.
Kasi pag tinila mo you have to see ano ba yung definition.
Okay.
And God is without cause,
Okay.
eternal. He's not
Okay.
design. So, he's the first one. He's bagaman siya yung designer.
Exactly. So sinasabi mo nga that God is an exemption to that rule.
Yeah, he's beyond.
And why should he be beyond that rule?
Well, the question is, why not? Di ba? Dalawa yan eh. Dalawa yung ano eh. Yung definition itself, again, it's a matter of definition and understanding. Where you either accept that, that's the definition, or
not.
you have a different definition. It's just that, you know, okay, our contention is, okay, God is without cause, He's eternal.
Yeah.
How do you prove it? You can't. It's you know, it's a contention. It's a belief. In the same way, sinabi mo, matter is
Hindi pa
eternal.
magsasara to, no?
Ito naman, pero last call na.
And without cause, that's a contention.
Yeah.
So,
Last call.
in the end,
Hindi
there are
naman,
only two
kakansan, hindi
choices.
nakakapo.
Either matter is eternal
Hindi nakakapo.
or mind is eternal.
Okay.
Either of the two.
Siyempre, paspas na rin tayo.
So it boils down to that, and that's a worldview.
How did you know that either matter is eternal or mind is eternal?
Well, we know from current science. Well, of course, you know, it's a worldview, no? But we know from current science that matter has a beginning. Yun nga yun. Even sa secular world.
How did you know that matter is a beginning? Yung basis mo.
Well, I don't subscribe to the Big Bang, but ang basis ko na is the Word of God.
Not the second law, thermodynamics.
No, the second law, all the laws is also caused by God. So you cannot apply that to that because, okay, there's something wrong with that logic naman. You're applying something to something beyond it. Bagaman may subset, may set ka, and this is a superset. You cannot apply the subset to the superset.
So basically, you're saying that your criteria of design only applies to things within nature. Is that correct?
In the universe. Okay.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yun nga yung sinasabi ko sa'yo
Yeah.
kanina, if you want to qualify.
God, okay, ang qualification ko is outside of the universe, of the physical universe, yung si God, outside of the space-time continuum. Lahat ng mga kasama is within that space-time continuum. So everything. Kung atheist ka and you're materialistic, perspective mo, it will be everything. Kasi there's no such thing as supernatural to you, right?
Hindi, pero
Depende sa
yeah, but
kind of atheist.
siguro, it's the idea of saying something beyond the natural or beyond.
Beyond space-time.
Yun nga, beyond. To be honest, hindi ko nga rin ma-imagine what is something beyond space and what is beyond time.
Beyond space and beyond time, the fifth dimension.
Hindi nga, madali na yan.
Tesseract yun.
Kaya nga, imagination can really goes far beyond.
Well, the imagination is true, but it's really logic. I mean, yung nga yung kalang prinsipyo na sinasabi
Pero
ni
yun nga,
René.
parang nangyari, logic broke down with that argument. Sabi mo nga, how did you define design? You gave the two criteria, not caused by nature or natural law, not caused by
Wait, tingin ko.
random chance. So, it means that there is one or at least one entity, which is God, that is not caused by natural law and not caused by not caused by random chance, that is not designed as well, which is God.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
not designed. He's self-existent. So,
Hindi, kaya nga. So
outside
that,
of that. Ano?
that means that when you say the definition of design is tawag dito is not random chance and not natural law, it's limited kasi it doesn't apply to everything. When you say a definition,
No, it applies to everything. It doesn't
Except
apply
God.
to God.
kaya nga.
Okay. It doesn't apply to God. Yun lang, siguro. Maybe I can qualify it like that. It doesn't apply to God. Kasi God is outside.
Okay.
Outside the natural law and outside that. It's
How
beyond
did you know that God is
That's the
outside
definition.
natural law? That's the definition
That's
of
the
God.
definition. Yeah.
But who defines that?
He did. His word.
Where?
The Bible.
When did he say that?
In the beginning, God, Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the world.
Okay.
He is before everything that was created. It's
Wait, you just said
unknown.
God created what?
The universe.
Did he say that God created the universe? Kasi I believe that in the beginning, ano ba first verse ng ano?
God created the heavens and the earth. Bereshit bara Elohim.
Okay, so if he created the heaven and the earth, then that means that heaven and earth did not exist yet.
Of course.
Where did he create the heaven and the earth?
He created space-time. It doesn't exist. So what's the question doesn't make sense because it doesn't exist.
So he created it from nothing.
He created it from nothing.
He
So,
created
hindi, kasi lalabas dito, God doesn't occupy space because space does not
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. See, this is a problem. Okay, you're applying natural thinking to something outside of the natural.
But
Okay, so there's a problem.
But the problem here is we are all living in the natural world. Ang napakahirap.
Really, in a
Napakahirap
natural world,
imagine yung sinasabi
it's
mo.
true. That is true. That is absolutely true.
And one thing, we're only
That is
aware
the reason
of,
why. That is the reason why
Natural.
he gave a message. That is the reason why.
That's the Bible.
Hindi, wag muna tayo sa Bible. Wag muna tayo. Dito lang muna
Sa
tayo.
logic tayo.
No, I don't even consider this logic because logic is nothing but wordplay. Am I right?
Okay.
So we're just
sakit mo
going.
isipin.
Yeah. So we're just going to play words. But the concept of some spaceless whatever na meron doon something moving, thinking, planning, ang hirap.
Okay.
I-ano sa
Think about
yung
yourself.
concept.
You don't know. It's easy. Close your eyes and think about yourself. Who are you? Do you?
But, yeah.
You think.
Yeah.
Who are you? What are you? Do you exist?
Yeah.
I-think mo lang. Do you? Pag naka-close ka yung eyes ko, tanongin mo, is Gian, Paraiso, this body or something else? Something
The
else?
problem here is whether I close my eyes or what, I still occupy space.
No, you yourself do not. Your physical body occupies space. The mind is like a computer. Like, this is a good example, okay? If I had a hard disk here, or a floppy disk, kung tatandaan yung maliit, or yung whatever, a USB, CD, okay? If I put 10 gigabytes of data as opposed to 1 kilobyte of data, what's the difference in the mass of the USB?
But
Konti.
konti. But the
No,
question,
there's no difference in the mass of the USB.
yeah.
It's
But-
the same USB.
But the question is, there is still,
It's the same USB.
the-
It's the
it's not
arrangement.
material.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
not
material.
material.
The software itself is not material.
Yeah,
It's the
but-
same as your mind.
okay, but
It's
the-
not material.
yeah, but the question here
isn't
is
it limited by the material?
Ito nga yung
Kasi
sinasabi
you
ko.
have a capacity.
No, I'm just answering here.
Hindi,
You know, you cannot imagine.
Wait. Sabi
You cannot
mo,
imagine.
sandali. Ang sabi mo kanina, put something on the USB.
Yeah.
Ano yung ilalagay mo?
Information
Yeah, but saan mo siya ilalagay?
sa USB.
Now, without the USB, saan siya ngayon nakalagay?
Information still exists with or without the USB.
Yeah, but with
With or without the USB.
The question is, if no one is thinking about that information, does it exist?
Okay, thinking. You mentioned the word thinking. Thinking exists without. Yung mind mo is there. Whether or not meron kang it's like software.
But the question here is, can you give me really a good example of a disembodied mind?
I'll give you a perfect example.
What?
Here.
No, disembodied mind.
I'm telling you a disembodied
I'm telling
mind.
you, it's because I'm telling you in the sense that you can understand. That you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
understand.
but the question...
The mind is, okay, you think of the mind. You're confusing. See, this is where the definition came. The mind is not just a product of the brain. For me to explain what the mind is, I have to put it something that you can actually relate easily. And the thing that we can relate easily is a cell phone.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, or a computer.
But the cell phone still is material.
Okay, and we are material.
Yes. And the brain is material.
The brain is material.
Now, kaya nga, I was just asking, wait, huwag mo muna ako hintuin. I was just asking muna, kasi lumalayo pag nahihinto. I'm just asking, can you give me a good example of a disembodied mind na naka-exist?
We all have minds, and it has a body.
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot give you an example of a disembodied mind because we cannot see it. Okay? In the same way, you cannot see software. Can you see software?
Okay.
You can. It's there.
The word
Do you know that it
software.
exists?
Yeah, kaya nga, the word software.
No, we're not talking about the concept of software.
Yeah, nga, the
thing
word.
that
The
drives
abs-
this.
the abstract.
The concept.
The abstract. The abstract thing, like
Now,
love.
when I ask you a question, is software real or not?
Real, it's real.
Okay, real. Mind is real. It's the same as software.
Because it's an abstract noun. Am I right?
Or is it just an analogy that you're making?
Yeah, nga eh.
It is an analogy that I'm making.
But the question is, does software exist if there is no tangible software?
Kasi parang sinasabi mo na, for example,
I also agree. Intellectual property exists, with or without intellectual property. It doesn't matter whether it's written down on a medium or something. It's intellectual property. It's like, say, integers. Integers exist. Whether you like it or not, there are integers.
teka lang, parang kasi katipod tulad nito, let's say Windows XP, it's a software, right?
It's a software.
Independent of the hardware.